deal with daily issues, but you smile and fake it.
My mom is white and my dad is black. He's from Jamaica. Racism was is one of the main issues that I focused on, just because I'm mixed, so I feel like, to me, I experienced it from both sides. I feel like people feel comfortable saying a lot of racist stuff in front of me because I'm mixed. So like Caucasian people feel comfortable because I'm light skinned, and you know, I'm like, I don't know, I'm one of them. And then it's like African American people or black people, minorities, they feel comfortable too because it's like I'm also them too. But it's like, what do you do in that situation? What do you do when you're with your girlfriend, she's white and she says nigger? What do you do, you know? And it's like, what do you do when you're with your black girlfriends and they say cracker? Like, it really put a toll on my life, and it affected me a lot. I think the first time I could think of even thinking about like racism or different races or feeling any type of mixed feelings was 7th grade. That's when our like schools combined. We had the people that I grew up with, and then the other elementary school came together.
Being prejudiced and being racist are equal.
Racism or prejudging? Racism or prejudging?
Prejudging has nothing to do with race at all, because you can meet someone of your own race and prejudge them off the gate.
I would say it's equal, I guess. In my opinion, it's equal.
I have been denied opportunities due to my race.
Well, I feel racism is worse because it's just like, I think it's more of a powerful thing, more of a powerful type hate.
There's been situations where as though I was judged for being a young black male, and people thinking I might have been trying to do something that I had no intention on doing.
A lot of people use it as their excuse to say that it's the reason why they're behind or why they don't like a certain person.
When I go out, people always ask, "What are you? Oh my gosh, what are you?" And I'm like, does it really matter?
Honestly, it's both prejudging, you know, and it's putting a characteristic to someone that you don't even honestly know. Walking
down the street and like a female switches their pocketbook to the opposite side of you, walking on them, or maybe someone's like by themselves and we're like walking up, she's walking towards me and I'm walking to her, they might stop and like stand up against the wall just to let me by because they didn't know if I was going to do something to them or something.
Well, I get prejudged all the time, mainly because I'm like tall, black, and I just have like bulky shoulders. And in certain clothing I kind of look diesel, but I'm not.
It's not everyone that this is happening to. It's distinctly like black males, and it sucks.
If you're black, you play basketball, you know, into sports, you're a drug dealer, you have kids, you know, you're not responsible.
Yes, a lot of us come from poverty, but there's a lot of us trying to make it out.
I think that racism is kind of like a counteract of self-hate. I think when some people hate themselves or have I guess low self-esteem, then they try to find anybody else to hate so that they feel better about themselves and their situation or whatever they're going through.
I feel like I've not been picked to do certain jobs sometimes, or not picked to be in a group to work on certain projects, like early on in school, probably I would say middle and elementary school.
Prejudging has some of the emotions, but I don't think it's as strong or to that, you know, that degree of racism. So racism is, you can almost say it's a hate. It's a blatant hate against, you know, not relying on no facts, just the outside cover.
Racism is just like, the history of racism alone is just, it's just terrible, terrible thing.
Honestly, sometimes at work I feel like people look at me like I'm not supposed to be there. Like I'll ask someone like, "Hey, how you doing?" They might look at me and like not say nothing, and I'm just doing my job.
Like I just went to a hair store with my friend just to buy errands, and we were followed around the store the whole time. Like I had my money out and everything like that, and they still followed us around.
Growing up, I always got like made fun of for being like half Jamaican, because my dad would like come and he would come and chaperone, and I used to like be like, oh man, my dad's gonna chaperone, because they would make fun of me like all the time because he wore sandals and just different stuff. I got picked on a lot for that.
I've been denied a few jobs, but I think that's only when I don't include my middle name. When I include my middle name, which is Austin, I swear to God they think I'm like white or something. And I usually at least get a face-to-face interview towards I can get the job. But when I just put in Hassan Fluellen because there's no middle name option, it's like, whoa, swerve.
I cheerleaded when I was younger, and it was me and another African-American girl on the cheerleading squad. Everyone else was Caucasian. And I felt out of place because sometimes they would act differently towards me and her than they would within themselves.
I can't really answer it, and I honestly think, why does that matter? Like, are you gonna look at me any differently if I tell you that I'm Puerto Rican, black, white, anything?
It almost seems like the world is set up for black people and like poor people to fail.
More so due towards my name, which kind of sounds weird, but I had to change the name on my resume so that I would just get calls back for jobs.
It's separated into two blocks. You have Caucasian people on one side.
With whites and blacks, it was like an awkward effect. So like white people would only congregate with themselves and the black people would congregate with themselves, with white intermingling with like Asians and Indians or other races more than they would blacks.
If your parents, you know, always taught you that, you know, white people are bad, they're evil, they don't care about you, and you'll grow up and you grow up around that culture, you'll grow up with that type of mindset.
You know, they white people, but they got money a little bit. So I had to carry myself in a professional manner at all times, but sometimes just having little conversations with them, you could tell that they're already judging me in their head.
I was in an interracial marriage. My ex-husband was from Jamaica. I've been in situations where I've been the only white person in a room of black people that was very comfortable, and I've also been in a situation where it was uncomfortable.
I was on my way home from work, and I was walking down the street, and this was at the time where like the baggy clothes was in, and I had on a big Warriors jacket. It was the jacket with the fur on the collar. It was cold out, and I was walking down the street, and the cop stopped me and, you know, asked me questions of where you coming from, and I let him know I was coming from work, and he asked me did I just rob somebody, this, that, and the third, and I was saying no. Luckily, I didn't get picked up because I had my name tag from work on, so he was like, all right, I guess he's telling the truth, he's coming from work.
Racism is just like, look, I just don't like this certain amount of people. I just don't like what these certain people beliefs are. And prejudging first, because it's more vast.
I feel that racism is a little more worse or a little higher on the scale than prejudging. Only because with racism, you look at someone and you prejudge them by their skin, but not only do you prejudge them by their skin, it's attached with hate and a little bit more emotion.
Being biracial, even when I was younger, it was like, what am I? Am I white or am I black? I've had that question asked to me a million times since I was like 7th grade.
All the kids from one side of the block would come out, but none of the white kids would come over. You only see like 1 or 2 kids come over at that. That's white.
I was in a situation where I don't know if I was necessarily judged because of my race, but there was a racial slur that was said to me. I was driving one day and I went to go make a left turn, but it was a car in front of me and they stopped before I could make that turn, but then once the light turned red, they continued to go. So I was still caught kind of in the middle, but people were still able to go around me. So a guy who really didn't have to do much to get around me made his left turn out of the other side of the street, and out of his window, he took the time to roll his window down to say, "You nigger."
That kind of rubbed me the wrong way because, for one, I'm sure if someone made the call saying somebody brandished a gun or whatever, I'm sure they gave a description of what the person looked like. And if I didn't fit that description, I felt as though I shouldn't even have been subjected to that search.
You know, I've known people that felt threatened. Like my mom, when she was younger, she said she lived in the South and she felt threatened by KKK when they seen them, and it was a scary moment for her. But me growing up in this time and age in this generation, I've never felt intimidated by any other race.
It's amazing because some people grow out of it and then some people just don't.
I was judged by white people because my children were mixed or my husband was black, and then there were times when it was embraced where it was a positive thing, it was part of positive change, but also embraced as, you know, that I had crossed the line and that it was going to create issues for my children in the future.
Me and two of my friends were sitting on the corner of my block. We were just sitting out on the step talking, and the cops, like, it was a one-way street, and the cops came like up the block the wrong way, and you know, they stopped us like, what are y'all doing, and asked us was we out there, you know, smoking weed or whatever, asked us did we have drugs on this. And I felt as though those questions weren't warranted, because just because we were young black males sitting on the corner, the stereotype or prejudice was, oh, naturally there's out there selling drugs or doing some type of drug or whatever.
And it's just like, that's crazy. You walk outside, you know, you could be educated, you could be on your way to school, and you just get arrested because you look like someone. But it's like...
And then I remember asking, I'm like, so what did y'all like stop us for? And one cop said it was a report that a pit bull was on the loose. So they was just stopping us for that reason. And I just was like, you can't be serious.
Like, what did that have to do with anything? We're driving. Like, what did my race have to do with, one, my driving skills? That's another misconception. Not necessarily with black people, but with even Asian people. A lot of people say that, you know, they can't drive, which is totally unfair because, you know, they might have ran into somebody who maybe cut them off or something and they happen to be Asian.
Anybody can be cheap, anybody can steal, anybody can be rude, anybody can be ignorant. It's no specific thing for anybody.
That was a situation that really hurt my feelings, and for some reason, I don't know why it hurt so bad, but when I made that turn, I actually pulled over to the side and I started crying. And I'm like, why did I let him hurt my feelings so bad? You know, it wasn't really a big deal, but you know that racism exists, and you know that it happens to other people, and you know that it's been something that's been going on for a long time, but until you encounter it, you don't really feel it. You really don't understand it or comprehend how somebody can not like you or prejudge you because of the color of your skin.
With racism, it was something that the United States kind of set us up to think this way. They conditioned us because the census breaks us up into categories. So if people are coming to your house when you're little or something like that, and they're asking you to fill out this questionnaire, and it's breaking you into racial categories, or you're going to fill out a job application and it's asking you your race, like, you see it so many times, your mind starts to think that way.
We breathe the same air.
Look around and experience everything for themselves.
You are not better than me, and we are equal.
I am not your enemy.
Yes, I am of a race, but just like you are of a race, but get to know me as a person.
There's a lot in people that go way deeper than the color of their skin.
You have a lot to learn, pretty much, you know.
Don't go off of what they hear or what they see, but experience it yourself and make your own justification based on that.
There are so many things that can be opened up to you if you would just take the time to know that person who you're judging.
Educate yourself. Surround yourself with people of other races so you can know more. Don't be ignorant.
Men and women go hand in hand.
Do I feel equal? Like to women? Yeah.
Men have the ultimate sword. Women are supposed to be peers.
I mean, I love myself. I love who I am.
If I have a key that unlocks his door, are we not sharing the same? Are we not sharing the same measurements? Are we not supposed to be going hand in hand?
I mean, I don't mean to be glib, but it's just like, who am I to say I'm better than you because I have a penis?
Now I ask, what is left to hate? See, if we mentally blind ourselves, we relate. But the scenery you paint is your choice. Those words you're exhaling, your voice. Are you ready to be the next leader that leads an army of change? It starts with you.
idea with